Good morning, everybody.
You like that?
My name is Russell Wayne at 313 Villain on X. You're watching the Lion Villain Report. About ready to get this thing started right here. We're going to talk a little bit more free agency. You know, we're going to do a couple mock drafts. We'll talk a little bit about some of the risers and the fallers. But for the most part, the new league year is going to be starting here in a minute. So the free agency thing is definitely at the forefront. So let's get to it.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lion Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne, and I am going to be talking some football with you for about the next hour right now. And my name is Russell Wayne, and I am on X. I gotta find my stuff here. I'm lost inside my stuff right here. We're broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. right there. And we have over, Leon Phelps. We have over 60,000 villains that are out there on the Facebook page. And we want to thank everybody for acknowledging the villain on Facebook. Yeah, you can also go over. We're all broadcasting live into the YouTube page, which is at Lions Villain Squad. We're on the Huddle Sports Network right now on Roku. That's right, the Huddle Sports Network. And we are the UDFA of sports podcasting. That's right, baby. You can't unalive Tom Kennedy, and you can't unalive the Villain Report or the Villain Squad right here. Liking, commenting, and sharing. We're blue collar, baby. We're out here working very hard trying to bring you all of the information and talk a little bit of football with you, because it's faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football. We don't let football use us. We use football to create those memories, and hopefully it's going to be a good memory for Lion fan this year. Thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys over there, Detroit Lions News Podcast, as well. And this episode, among a lot of the other episodes, are brought to you by Fanatics.com. That's right. You can go over to use the villain link right there. Get that Lions pull over hoodie right there. And save up to 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partners over at Fanatics.com. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I want to say hello to everybody that's in the chat.
You like that? You like that?
Davey in the house.
You like that? You like that?
That's right. Get over there and subscribe to that damn YouTube page. I'm trying to build that thing up. Broski's in the house. We got Bear Fan. Bear Fan is represented up in here. Rick G up in the house. Scott Harrison. What up? Mary Smith up in the house. The bad guy. That's right. Scott Harrison up in the house. Good morning, John.
You like that?
Getting into this thing. And, it's really funny. And I promised myself there was something that I did. I'm proud of myself for something. I am so proud of myself for something. Last year, and I see a lot of the other outlets do this, and I get it, right? We want to go in there. We want to talk about all of the draft prospects, right? And they get into the combine, and these guys are running around in shorts, and they're running 4.40s. They're getting crazy out there. They're out there. They're running their 40s, and their draft stock is rising. And then, like, a week goes by, and then you realize, wait a minute. It's nice to talk about these draft prospects, but the free agency's first. The free agency's first. I do want, if you guys want to talk draft prospects, that's fine. We can go through here. I'll pull up what we got on BFF. I'll show you who the top studs are, and we can do that. I might even do a little mock draft on here. But the thing is we are not going to know, and I'm not going to pretend to know what we're going to do because we haven't done free agency yet. And if Brad Holmes has done anything through free agency, plugs all the holes in free agency. And there's less holes than there was last year for the free agency. But Brad Holmes is going to go in there and he's going to do his thing. You know that's what he's going to do. Do we have to go as many bargain free agents? This is going to be a boring free agency, guys. When it comes into it, but we're going to go into the draft and they're going to do the whole best player available thing. So honestly, you go through, you got this $70 million worth of cap. It's at $53 million right now. But You're going to have access to $70 million. The new year's going to start. And then your money from last year is going to roll over. And they're going to have some dough. They're going to have to do a lot of their shuffling around, going to the free agency, get some guys, right? And we'll go. Let's go. We'll go into the free agency stuff here. We'll end with a couple mock drafts, just so you know. I ain't gonna leave you hanging out there. I don't want to do that. But let's look at what the PFF here. This is the PFF free agent rankings. And don't beat me up for using PFF. Be quiet. Be quiet. What does PFF say Detroit's? Now, PFF isn't right on track because I know that Trey Smith is staying in he's staying in Kansas City. Man, I'm losing my train of thought today, guys. I'm sorry, guys. It's Monday. It's Monday. How y'all feeling out there? How y'all feeling out there? I'm trying to get myself warmed up into this situation right here. But let's say, but going into the free agency, it's like, who are you really looking to get? And we've been through this before, because I'll set it up like this because I got these presentations in here. But when you look at what the Lions have, the roster looks a lot different. And I know Brosy's probably in there telling everybody how we only get injured players, and there might be some truth to that. And as a matter of fact, I would say that there is some truth to that. But he brings it up. But I want to, when you really point these things out, you got your quarterback room. You're not drafting a quarterback, right? You might draft a quarterback late. You may move Hendon Hooker, or you might not. But I got a feeling that the Lions are just like, yeah, we're cool. We got our quarterback. We're developing a quarterback. You know, they may draft one late. I know that they brought a couple in to look at it. In the running back room, you know, you're really set there, you know. And even if you're going to bring back free agency, you got Craig Reynolds as a restricted free agent, so they're going to be able to match anything that they throw out there for him. So that's not going to cost him anything. Your running back room set. You know, you just drafted one last year. I think they like that.
You like that?
I do. I like that. You know, in the wide receiver, we've been through this before. The wide receiver room. You got those three solid guys right there, right? You want to bring back Tim Patrick? Honestly, when we're looking at pass catchers, gonna bring back Tim Patrick? Because when you think about it, your number one option, Amon-Ra St. Brown, then Jamison Williams. I would say Sam Laporta is probably your third option. I would say Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. Running back is probably your fourth option. Khalif Raymond's probably your fifth option. And, you know, maybe you bring back Tim Patrick. You want to bring back Tim Patrick? I'm all for it. Whatever. But that ain't going to cost you a lot of money. But, you know, tight end room. You like your tight end room. You like that from the top end. You know, you got Shane Zylstra. He's one of those restricted free agents. That's 3 tight ends. So maybe you go into the draft late or try to find the best UDFA again. But you're set at the top end of your tight end room. You're not really drafting there. You know, the tackle room. You know, you got a couple developmental guys, and I know everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe you just draft these guys that you have to develop." But well, they're developing. Colby Sorsdal's going into a make or break year. They're probably going to put some pressure on him this year. In the swing tackle, Giovanni Manu's probably going to play a little bit this year, but you know, draft. But I don't think you're going out of your way. Maybe you re-sign Dan Skipper for depth. Keep going, but it's just draft business as usual at tackle position. I think that you like where you're at there. You know, at the guards, you know, you want to get stronger at guard. You got Kevin Zeitler in free agency. That's a possibility. We can go through there. Let's look at that. We are on page, I think it tells me, doesn't it? Yeah, let me get this out of the way for a minute. So you're looking at guards. Let's look at guards in free agency here. Might as well. Because that's a spot. I think that was a pretty good way to do it, right? We're seeing who's on the roster under contract, right? These guys, you're not going to get rid of those guys. I know that if you feel a certain way about Giovanni Manu or not, you know, if you feel a certain way about Graham Glasgow or not, these guys are under contract as of right now. I think that you want to put yourself in a position where Graham Glasgow is depth. You don't want him on the starting spot, but I like Graham Glasgow coming off the bench in relief. He can spell all three of the interior positions, and that's what you like. So we want to do centers and guards. So we'll put centers and guards in here. Look at so since Trey Smith is already gone, who can we get to replace? We're going to go Drew Dahlman. Projected $14 million a year. We going that route? You know, are you hoping that they release Jonah Jackson so we can get him back cheap? Going there? Will Fries, they want $14 million a year. I don't think that Brad Holmes is going outside doing this.
You've had enough of that shit.
Tevin Jenkins? You want to bring in Tevin Jenkins? Really? I don't know. You going to pay him? Chicago, you going to pay him? $13 million a year? It's a lot of cheese. You know, Kevin Zeitler, next one on. I mean, if you get him on that deal again, let's freaking go. I'd pay Kevin Zeitler $8 million a year. You know, maybe even 10. He was awesome last year. I don't mind that. I like the familiarity of it. So to me, it's I'm a fan of just keeping familiarity, and if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. I'm not saying that you don't draft guys or develop guys. You know what I'm saying? You draft guys, develop guys, but I like the idea of bringing back Kevin Zeitler, and maybe I'm alone in that because I know that you want to get younger, right? Don't you want to get younger? For sure, absolutely. You want to get younger. But that doesn't mean that you have to that you have to go away from what is working. You bring back Kevin Zeitler, the pros. I mean, you saw that. Look at that. The pros it probably ain't going to cost you very much. The pros he gave you very good production last year. From that position. You know, the cons, I don't know. Is it really cons to re-signing a guy like Kevin Zeitler? He might break down in the middle of the year. You know, age caught up to him. Okay. Well, you want to draft a guy anyway. So, that's where I'm the big fan of. But let's not stop there. Let's look and see what else we got in here. Come on, PFF. Thank you for making lists. James Daniels from Pittsburgh, 27 years old. Played awesome last year, but here's the thing. You got 209 snaps. He didn't play very much last year. Tore his Achilles. You know, you're having a great year, then you tear your Achilles week 4. I don't know if you want to go there. You know, sounds like something Brad Holmes would love. Give me the Achilles and we can rehab it. We can get it back. It can come back. I don't know if you want to go there. Mekhi Becton, a reclamation project, drafted as a tackle. Ends up being a guard. Do you want to go there? $10 million a year. Brandon Sheriff. That's kind of like Kevin Zeitler 2. Dun 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 dun. Kevin Zeitler 2. He's 33 years old. Pretty solid. That might be the way that they go, because you know maybe you're just looking for, you know, the random depth right there. Patrick McCarry. I mean, you know that he played some snaps last year. Probably wasn't his strongest year, according to PFF. That doesn't mean he's going to be bad. He's only 27 years old. I like that. That might be somebody you might want to look at. Log snaps all over the offensive line, filling in wherever the Ravens needed. In 2024, meant playing nearly every down at left guard for a revamped offensive line, markedly improved as of last season after a rocky start. The versatility, ooh, you like that?
You like that?
We like versatility around here. With more than 500 snaps at both tackle spots before 24, could drive his value in a major way in free agency. I like that.
You like that?
The villain gets the villain stamp of approval. Patrick McCarry. Go get him. Probably it says that the projected contract value would be $8 million a year. Would you give him a 2-year, $17 million deal? Bring him in right there. I like that. Aaron Banks. San Francisco, you know that he was coached well. Another guy like that. Former second-round pick, showed steady growth over his 4 years. Never eclipsed 90% of the snaps. He played 775 snaps last year. 33rd out of 77 guards. Banks moves very well in the run game for his size, which is presumably would make him the most attractive for the 49ers in the first place, but has room to grow in pass protection. 27 years old. Shown some steady growth throughout his career. That might be somebody the Lions might look for. Same price range. Aaron Banks from San Francisco. Let me know what you think about that. How about Ryan Kelly? A little bit older. Definitely been solid throughout his career. Right around this, So this Willie Hernandez, 29 years old. Projected $5 million a year. Bargain bin Brad, this is where he's going. Look at that. Dalton Risner. That was a great pickup for Minnesota, just kind of off the scrap heap. Picked them up in the middle of the season. And he played well for you. Lake and Tomlinson. An old reunion right there. Yeah, they got some guys. I'm not really worried about the Lions in that area. What do you think? Let me know in the comments here. Let's see what we got in here. You guys are arguing with each other. Good morning, Paul.
You like
I
that?
want to make sure. I got to get through here. Some D-line, few wide receivers look good at the combine. We can look at some of those. Brad will do what he always does. He'll get the best player available, but you got to put yourself in position to do that. That's a great comment, though. I like that. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, that's a real good one. Sean says that we definitely need a new starter at left guard. You know, that wasn't Glasgow's best year. I get that. But, you know, we got to be cautious not to give up on players so fast. Just, you know, like, especially like with one like bad game. You know, you get these guys that have a bad game and then we forget things that they've done, right? So it wasn't a real good season for Graham Glasgow, but he's been a proven veteran. He's here for a couple years. Maybe he's getting paid backup money, so you could use him as depth. That's where I'd like to see him get. I think that are we arguing about $8 million still affordable? Okay, you guys keep arguing in there. That's okay. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not trying to get anybody's. I'm not gonna make any light to, you know, what you guys are are doing in there. You guys argue with each other. I'm not gonna highlight who. I don't know who's winning that fight in there, but you know, Broski's going back and forth with the villain faithful in there, trying to undersell everything that we do. Oh, Hutchinson ain't going to make it back. He can't make a full recovery. He can make a full recovery. I think that, you know, he's definitely going to have to get used to playing on that leg regardless. So, is he going to be the same Hutchinson right out the gate? Yeah, he probably won't. It'll probably take him, you know, 10 weeks to get his sea legs underneath of him. But those doctors are way smarter than me. And, you know, they seem to think it was a clean break. They put a titanium rod in there. Actually, we'll say adamantium because he's a Wolverine. See what I did there? So I have no doubt that Hutchinson will make a full recovery. It just might not be right all at once. But by the end of the season, I think that he'll be used to playing on that leg. And all this offseason, he's already made the full recovery from the break part of it. But now you got to get, you know, the wear and tear on that leg to get it up to the elite level. But I'm glad that he didn't try to push it, do the Super Bowl thing. But, you know, that's one of the things that makes me feel good about where the Lions are at when it comes to that area, which is the pass rush area. You know, the Lions were so injured last year that getting players back is going to make that team a lot better. It's almost like getting extra free agents. You're going to get a recovered Hutchinson back. I mean, still a 80% Hutchinson when he starts out the season is better than 100% of anybody else right now. And he's got to play on it in order to get it better. So it's not like he can wait longer. You just got to get used to playing on your new leg. But when I'm looking at our free agents in that area, let me bring up edge defenders and what we have in free agency, because that's probably the biggest question when you think about it, where everybody's at. So really on offense, I really don't see them going crazy. Obviously, you got to get that guard position. I think that they're going to invest in guard. We went over that for a little bit, and then on the defensive line part right here, you're not going to be ready right for the beginning of the season, but I wanted to go here first right there. Your edge position. This is who you have under contract right now. You got Aiden Hutchinson, you got Zadarius Smith, and you got Josh Pascal. All three of those guys, I mean, they're competent guys. Obviously, Josh Pascal didn't become what you wanted, but as far as a depth piece, he's going to make the team, and he's offered quality snaps before. So, at your edge position, it's like, yes, you need edge. You need edge help. You need depth. You only got 3 edges, but the 3 edges that you have can play. So, you're starting there, right? And in free agency, you can go a couple of different ways right here. I don't know if they're going to keep the Davenport experience going here. As far as our own free agencies, I think that Muhammad has a chance to make it back, at least on the 90-man roster. John Kaminsky, I think that he has a shot to make it back. I mean, some of these guys, they want to have their reclamation project, right? They got injured last year. They're going to want to play. They signed Kaminsky to an extension because they like the way that he played. So it's possible that Kaminsky could come back. Do you want to go get Khalil Mack? I mean, not at $22 million. I mean, if everybody's bitching about, we can't afford Myles Garrett. Okay, well, Myles Garrett's way better than Khalil Mack, as far as a complete player. I mean, Khalil Mack had a great year last year, so I guess I can't really say that. 34 years old, he just keeps doing it. Keeps doing that thing. So, but Myles Garrett costs the same. $20 million here or $20 million getting the guy from free agency. What's the difference? Josh Sweat, you're going to pay $18 million a year. He's 27 years old. He played great. But he played great on a defensive line was loaded. I feel like Broski could have gotten 10 sacks out of rushing off the edge of that Philadelphia line that has, Jordan Davis and, Jalen Carter rushing up the middle. Broski gets 10 sacks. So I don't know. Do we really want to get Josh Sweat in here? I would vote no. I don't like any of these guys. Hassan Reddick. 2 years, $12 million. Dude's been chasing money for a couple years now. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know. I don't like Hassan Reddick. He seems like that name that's on there. This is a name that's interesting to me. Maybe not at $18 million if he's trying to get there. But you have a player that is recovering from an injury that's recovered from the injury now. But he did miss the entire last season. A player that was ascending on the other side of Max Crosby. This seems like a guy that, Holmes might take a shot on. Maybe not at $15 million or $18 million, but maybe at like maybe they pay him $18 million, but it looks something different right there. But if they put some money in there like that, maybe that's possible. I don't know if they want to spend that much. Baron Browning. $26 years old. More of a pass rushing specialist. I think that would be more of a 3-4, like edge / linebacker. Maybe they bring him in, same linebacker style. $16 million a year. I mean, I like these names. Chase Young. I like the name. Right? But you really want to, that's what you're going to spend your money on? I'd rather see them swing and get a home run. There you go. Here's somebody you might take a shot on. Classic designated pass rusher specialist with outstanding sack production on a limited snap count. PFF didn't like him. DeMarcus Lawrence. There's a veteran. There's a veteran. Here was definitely a player that was a plus player throughout his career. This right here, that could be a Lion possibility, especially at that price tag. 32 years old. DeMarcus Lawrence, Dante Fowler Jr. Here's some of these older guys. Chauncey Golston. I think that he has some experience with our brand new coordinator. Not the coordinator, but the defensive tackles coach that we just signed. Davis from Tampa Bay. Matthew Judon. He was a big one. People telling me that I'm dumb for not wanting to give up a second round draft pick for Matthew Judon last year. Dennis Gardeck. Here's some of these other players. Josh Uche. Derek Barnett. These are guys that you can get on cheaper deals. This looks like more the Brad Holmes bin right here. Charles. I'm not very good at these names. I honestly don't know a ton about some of these players on the back end, but these just look like names that Brad Holmes would just love, that we would bring in and be like, who? There you go, Brandon Graham. All you Michigan fans. Check it out. Check it out. So there, we looked at all, that's the PFF top, 120 edge defenders that are in free agency right now. And, there's some options that are in there. I think that the Lions go through and you get one in free agency that's competent. I mean, I think that you got to figure out what you're going to do with that Zadarius Smith contract. Like, even if you're going to keep Zadarius Smith, I think that you got to cut him and re-sign him, because the Browns don't know how to do contracts. There's always some weird shit going on in there. But all right, let's go on and move on to the next which I believe, because I went out of order here, but what I wanted to do was go through the defensive tackles next. And as far as what we have right now for defensive tackles, let's go through here. Gotta find them. Where you at? There they are. Defensive tackle. Now you got Aleem McNeil. He won't be ready for the beginning of the season, but he's under contract. You went long term on him. He's pushing back to get back at the beginning half of the season. I guess he is ahead of schedule on his ACL, but I wouldn't expect him back. But you still got Broderick Martin. He's going into his second-year player, Mekhi Wingo. So I love having a couple of buns in the oven when it comes to players. And you got 4 defensive tackles. All 4 of those guys are going to make the team. So there's a couple of extra spots that the Lions are going to have to fill. But like I've talked about all offseason is that the Lions have drafted well enough, and we got enough of these core guys that are still on rookie deals right now that there's not a lot of roster spots that are available right now. So these are different drafts. I know that Lion fan, take a step back for a minute. We're not used to being here in a spot where you're not trying to fill all of the holes on your team in the draft. As a matter of fact, it's going to be hard for any player that we draft to make the starting roster. I don't know if we're going to draft a starting player day one. I mean, our starting roster is pretty well set, but you can make some arguments at a couple of positions. I guess you could draft a cornerback, you could draft a guard, I mean, you could go that route. But like I said, this is the reason I hate talking draft before we do the free agency part, because we can speculate what we need all day long, but at the end of the day, we have to go through the free agency first in order for us to know what to look at for the draft. And, Brad's got his big ass plan going right now, and that's all good. So we're going to move. Let's look into and see what we got. Interior defenders. I'll take these edge defenders off and see what we got in there. I mean, these guys, you're just not going to, these first ones, I just get turned off. Boom, done. You're not going to, you just extended Aleem McNeil. So the chances of you going out and spending 20 plus million on another player when you know Hutchinson's contract is right around the corner, you're just not, Milton Williams, Asa, well, you try it. I ain't gonna try to say that. Why should I say his name? We're not gonna sign him. And then we got Levi Onwuzurike, and I know that you hate me for this, Lion fan, but he played well last year. That's my pick right there. I think the Lions need to re-sign Levi Onwuzurike. PFF likes him. He had a career year. Broski's out there bragging about how he's going to sign Levi Onwuzurike. They're licking their chops trying to get this guy. They know. Y'all give up on players too fast. Maybe not y'all, but when I look at the majority, because I look through a lot of the chats and the comments and everything like that, and the majority of people think Levi Onwuzurike is a bust. And that's somebody that doesn't watch the game. If you think Levi Onwuzurike is a bust, you didn't watch the game. You haven't watched what's been happening. All you know is that he didn't play the first 2 years and he wasn't available on the field, and the best ability is availability. But you can argue with me all day long about injury-prone players, but when you believe in players and then they do make the comeback, you got to give them credit where credit is due. I want them to re-sign Levi Onwuzurike, especially at that price tag. I think that's a underestimated important re-sign. Honestly, I mean, we're going to go through the rest of these, but just know that we can go through all of these, but I don't think there's any more important defensive tackle re-signing right there. You need to re-sign Levi Onwuzurike. Now I'm going to go through some other people that you could go and get. BJ Hill. He's experienced. I would have no problems with them going out and getting BJ Hill, even at that price tag. He's been solid. You look at those PFF grades right there. He's always, in the top, right there. You're looking at the top 40, at least, I wouldn't mind that one. Calais Campbell on the older side, but he wants to play and come in. I mean, dude always plays good. Just a big plugger. Jaron Reed. Yeah, I don't mind any of these guys, honestly, especially at those price tags. Poona Ford. Shoot, these guys are so cheap, I think you might get two of these guys. Why not? I think that you got to re-sign. You got to re-sign Levi Onwuzurike. I mean, just for the story part of it, for him coming all the way back. And if you don't know the story, Levi Onwuzurike had a severe back issue that kind of remanifested itself, and he fought his way back. They thought his career was over. Levi Onwuzurike. He didn't play at all in 2022 and 2021. He played for a little bit, but obviously he was going through what he was going through. So really, his first two seasons were completely lost to this idea. And spinal infusion, it's like kind of a, the way that he had it done was a little bit newer of a way. And, that can either be successful or completely the opposite. Well, in his case, it was successful. He had a good second season or a good third season where he didn't play a lot of snaps, as many. You can see it on there. You can see that trajectory. Had 164 snaps, played on it a little bit in 23 and played well. And then last year, having 700 snaps, lasting on there, 25th out of 118 defensive tackles. You drafted him to be the guy that he started to be. So I love this 2-year, $10 million guaranteed, $16.5 million contract. Pop it on there, give him a little extra 2 years, see if he's worth that, right? Like, if he tracks right, he could be looking at $20 million a year when he's done with that 2-year extension. So I would be a huge fan of them re-signing Levi Onwuzurike. But there's a bunch of other guys that were in there. I didn't mind any of those other guys either. You can get some nice, affordable defensive interior hole pluggers. And then obviously you're going to go to the draft and try to get better there too. So, into what else we got going on? So we're going to invest a little bit into that defensive line room. In the Brad Holmes is going to probably invest a little bit of money into that guard room. And this is all before the draft. You may bring back Dan Skipper and that. I don't see any more from the offense in there. Yeah, you maybe bring in a pass rusher before the draft. I could see them going a little bit of money into that room. Carlton Davis. You got to re-sign Carlton Davis. You know, especially when you look at what he can do. I mean, you traded a third-round draft pick to bring him in. You traded it, and he came in and was exactly who you wanted him to be. I mean, here's your cornerback room right now. Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, and Ennis Rakestraw. So this is probably the biggest glaring hole that is staring you right in the face, whether you want to admit it or not. I know everybody wants Myles Garrett, but you need to make sure that you got a starter level corner opposite of Terrion Arnold. Now, I'm not saying Amik Robertson. That is not a slight on Amik Robertson, because you want depth. You can't have enough cornerbacks. But losing Carlton Davis is a gaping hole. You need to bring back Carlton Davis, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't any other options that are out there at cornerback, but I think, like the other stuff right here, we went through all of these defensive tackles, and I still believe Levi Onwuzurike is going to be the best choice for, dollar cost average. These guys are fine, but we're not going to spend that much money. So realistic options, Levi right there on interior defenders. Now, as far as cornerbacks go, I mean, look at this. Here's where you got your top cornerbacks that are all getting about the same when you're looking at it. So Carlton Davis is the 25th overall ranked free agent, period. But let's look at some of these other guys. DJ Reed, I'm not, you want to give him 3 years, $14 million, if that's your decision. If that's who you want to bring in, Lions, $14 million. You got the cap money to do this. You need to spend the money on it. That's what you had allocated last year for Carlton. You can do it again. So DJ Reed, I've been fine with that. Guy's played plenty of snaps in his career. Graded out well. Chavarius Ward, 28 years old, $14 million a year. Don't mind it. The options are here. Rasul Douglas, I'll pass. I'll pass at that price tag if you want to be realistic with how much you want to charge. For half of that, maybe Rasul Douglas, but not at that price tag. Byron Murphy, at $17 million a year. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'd rather pay Carlton Davis $14 million a year. There we go. Asante Samuel Jr. is more of a slot corner. That ain't going to help us. Mike Hilton. Stephon Gilmore, maybe. If you're just looking for Band-Aids. But, none of these guys I'm going to... No. I mean, really, you got your top end guys right here down to Carlton Davis. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cornerbacks. Really 4 cornerbacks, because I don't want Rasul Douglas. But I'd take any one of those guys. But you need one of them. I think it's one of the most important things that you can do in this offseason is re-sign a cornerback. All right. Spinal fusion. Yes. Bye-bye, Moon Carblade. Moon Scarblade. Mr. Greenfield, we need to work on having an extra QB. We got 2 QBs. I see you out there, Mr. Greenfield, hating on Goff in every single thing because of his bad game that he had. You're way too hard on Jared Goff. You're way too hard on Jared Goff. I think that he knows that he needs to be better, you know, especially in that game, but he had an MVP caliber type of season last year. I don't know what you want out of your quarterback. You're developing Hendon Hooker behind him, who is a running style quarterback, which seems to be more of your speed. But I don't know what you want out of the quarterback position other than perfection. I mean, he had 2 bad games that were stinkers last year. One of them was the playoff game. One of them they won in Houston. So, linebacker room, you know, we don't have Jalen Reeves-Maben anymore. So we definitely need to look at this room right here. What are we going to do in the linebacker room? We got Jack Campbell. We got Malcolm Rodriguez. We got Alex Anzalone. What do we do with that room? First of all, before you do anything, and I think I would do it for sure, is you got to extend Alex Anzalone. Let's look at this. Alex Anzalone is in the final year of his deal. $6 million base salary with a cap number of $7 million. This, not only should they do it, I think they are going to do it. I can't see them letting Alex Anzalone go into the season with 0 guaranteed money when he's the captain of the defense. Alex Anzalone is only 31 years old. You could put 2 years on his deal. And then when you put 2 years on to a deal, it's really like adding 1 year to a deal because they would have an out after next season. So, do you want to re-sign Alex Anzalone? I think it's a no-brainer. And one of the things that you can do is you can lower this cap number probably by $6-7 million because your base salary is $6. So you do an extension, then you're converting that to salary that base salary to signing bonus. You can make his base salary for 2025 $1 million or $1.2 million. And that would free up $4.8 million you could free up by extending Alex Anzalone, giving him guaranteed money. He needs guaranteed money in his contract. So that's the first thing that I would do. And then let's go into the free agency part. Let me get in here, bringing up linebackers through our little PFF deal, because I think that we got to make a move. You got rid of Jalen Reeves-Maben. You got rid of that contract. But that means that you got a hole there. So here's who we have in free agency before we go into the draft. Drake Greenlaw, I know that's a popular one. I mean, Zach Bond, he's probably going to stay. I would think that they would keep him in there. I don't want to pay a linebacker $15 million a year. Nick Bolton, I don't want to pay him. I mean, I guess you could. You know, you want to build your team, but that's not Brad Holmes' MO. He doesn't pay brand new players on big deals. You got to earn your way on. Nick Bolton probably ain't going to play for a 2-year prove-it deal here. Let's be realistic. Bobby Wagner, that's the type of veteran dude you like. Would Bobby Wagner come here? That dude's been nothing but a stud. Look at that. 1,200, talking over 1,000 snaps for the last 3 years and knocked it out of the park. He's in the top 10 every year. I'd actually run. I'd love to see them sign Bobby Wagner, the ageless wonder. Ernest Jones. You know, are we going to get into these? There's some nice linebackers available here. Jamien Sherwood from the Jets. They know they got some good coached. Levante David, there you go. The ageless wonder. So, yeah, I expect them to go in here and sign some of the Robert Spillane, Tyrell Dotson, Eric Kendricks. There you go. Get some of the Devin Bush. There you go. There's some of the free agent linebackers. Who do you think? Who would you like to see them pick up in there? The free agent linebackers. Detroit, the bad guy. You like some Davenport, huh? Big fan of deep capital in, capital out, rotational defensive tackle. Injured defensive tackles, you should sign him. Yeah, it's one of the things. It's like, you know, for all the criticism that, you know, I get the injured player criticism. It's cool, but on the other side of it, sometimes it works. I think Reeder came in and had a good year, and he was an injured player. You know, that worked out. Davenport did not work out. I don't want to see them re-sign Davenport. Central Scrutinizer said, just depends on CD3. He will go to the highest bidder, or he'll take a little bit less to stay. That's exactly where he's at. You know, and we pointed out some of the good cornerbacks that we could have got right there. What's up, Dale? That's right. Better late than never. Sure is. Sure is. Rick says he agrees with me. Good. Alex is easy. That's an easy re-sign. That's an easy re-sign. We value that. One of the things I learned this offseason, and I'm not going down this path of the Myles Garrett stuff no more. And I'm not saying that they can't trade for Myles Garrett, right? But when you look at the realism of it, and you look at the demeanor of Brad Holmes when he's asked a question about trading for these players, they are not planning on, you know, the hypotheticals, right? You can't plan your franchise around hypotheticals. You can't go, oh gosh, man, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year, so all my eggs are in this basket of if the Lions trade for Myles Garrett, then that's how we're going to build our team. Right now, he's not available. Like, that doesn't, because the things that he said and the attitude that he said it with didn't tell me that they're guaranteed not going to trade for Myles Garrett. What it told me was he's a professional. Brad Holmes is a professional, and I'm not going to talk about Myles Garrett. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of, well, man, what this team would look like with that. Now, I can do that. I'm a dumb talk show host. But they don't do that. They're not going to entertain that. The player's not available. I love that. He's like, hey, what? Oh, you're missing a pass rusher. Well, here, we have a pass rusher. You can just have ours because you need one. Other teams are trying to win. So I'm not going to chase those down anymore. Now, I'm going to report them. We got to talk about them. But what I learned from Brad Holmes is that's what we value, is players that have been here. Carlton Davis is the most valuable cornerback for the Lions. Just like DJ Reed would be an important re-sign for the Jets because he has familiarity, right? Charvarius Ward, the best place that he could go where he's going to have the best chance for success is San Francisco. And the Lions, Carlton Davis was here. There's nothing that's better than that, right? There's not, like, Terrion Arnold's going to progress. He's going to be a better cornerback because he's going to practice more. They're going to have more time to spend with him in that. Just like Brian Branch, he's going to be a better safety. That's the most dangerous thing in the NFL is progression. There's not one player that you're going to sign in free agency that is more dangerous than progression. Told you that last year. Green Bay fan. Oh, we got Josh Jacobs. Okay, cool. You got a running back that's going to get you some yards. How much better is that going to make your team? There's nothing that's more dangerous than, Jordan Love in the third year progression. Like, I'm more scared of the progression of Josh Jacobs in his second year than I was with them signing him. And that's why I feel confident that my team is a Super Bowl contending team because of progression. We're going to draft players. Cool. Let's go in there. Let's do a mock draft. Screw it. I've kind of went through these free agents for the most part. I promised you a mock draft. I hate this, by the way. I hate it. I hate it. The mock draft simulator. There we go. Of course, I did it again. I did it again. So now I gotta put this in. Why is it not showing? There it is. The mock draft simulator. All right. So I'll do this for you, broski. In this mock draft, Cam Ward. Look at that. Look at these bad boys going through here. Chicago takes tight end Tyler Warren. Oh, you would hate that, wouldn't you? That would suck for you guys. Let's see. Green Bay takes edge Shermer Stewart right before us. Look at all those guys that were out already. Kenneth Grant. Look at that. Breaks our heart. 2 picks before us. I guarantee that if Kenneth Grant is available at pick 20, the Lions are moving up. You got players like that. We got certain guys. Come on. Come on, get up there and get that guy. All right, here we are. Pick 29 in there. And who do we have here? Lions, the needs they have is center, guard, edge, linebacker. I've heard a lot about Nick Scorton. Looking through their 6'4", 285. I like that as a pick right there. Darius Alexander, I heard he blew up the combine. 6'4", 310 from the Toledo Rockets. Looking at that. Look at that. The trends that... Here's the trend for Darius Alexander. I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him because... You watch, here's a guy, this is what you want to see out of a guy that went to a small school. Oh, you ain't playing against anybody. You ain't playing against anybody. You ain't playing against a Senior Bowl. Dominated competition. The percentiles right there. Now we're looking at it. This is why. Moving up. An ascending player right there. This guy killed it. One of my favorite guys, Jalen Walker. I'm tempted to go in here and edge just because we need edge, but Darius Alexander might be a game changer in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and select him. And then we're oh, look at that, Scattaboo. Would that be tempting at pick 60 for the Lions? Would that be... Oh, there's a... I heard a lot about this tackle right here. Out of Minnesota. Cornerback. Top guy, Donovan Jackson. Ohio State. Edge. Stewart. Edge. And I'm looking at just this draft right here. You're looking at the value right there. Yeah, you're looking at some value right there with defensive tackle. A little bit right there. I'm not going to draft Cam Scattaboo, even though that would drive everybody crazy right there. But I like the idea right here of taking an offensive lineman. You're developing a guy right there. We talking about, he's taking a dip though over the last couple weeks, but just sticking with the needs. There you go. We'll see how they like me at the end of the game. Now here's pick 101. So far in my draft, going with the big men. You win up front. Right there. I like that. I like that.
You like that?
Ooh. Another slot receiver. We need a wide receiver. Edge. Oh, Jalen Milroe, quarterback. I heard that we brought him in. You're not going to take him with your third-round pick, though. Right there. We need a center. Look at that, Jared Wilson out of Georgia. Sticking out like a sore thumb right there. Going with the big men. Ooh, Jackson Dart available in the 4th round. Right there. Oh, man, we're going all big men right here. Right there. Oh, Jack Kaiser out of Notre Dame. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got to go with the edge. Ahmed Hassanin out of Boise State. Boom. Taking care of it. I'll take it. Let's go. We got, look at all these quarterbacks. That ain't going to be like that. Ain't going to be like that. These mock drafts. These mock drafts. Oh, Miles Frazier. Let's take it. Where are we getting value right here? Jake Majors, center out of Texas. I like these two safeties too. Miles Frazier. Oh, that's too tempting. That's too tempting. We're not drafting for need. We're not drafting for need here. Got another safety popping right up in there. Oh, there we go. We need a guard. Dylan Fairchild. Let them play next to each other. God, I hate doing. I don't even know any of these guys at the very, very back end. Oh, there you go. I'm not going to pretend like I do either. Let's see. Who do you like me? How do you like me now? We'd probably take a tight end somewhere late. There you go. Joshua Gray out of Oregon State. Let's see if they like me. I went in there. C+ out of Darius Alexander. They didn't like that pick. A- for the tackle pick, or a B-. I hated that draft. I need a new one. I'm only going 5 rounds. I'm not gonna pretend like I know. I started not knowing any of the guys in there. They got Mike Green. All right, let's try this again. Man, I don't like that, man. It seems like they're just going through. Maybe I got to mess with these settings or something. Mess with these settings here. Get some more randomness in there. All right. We'll do 5 rounds. Oh, look at that. I love it. There you go. This is a no-brainer. This is fun now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Will Johnson slides all the way to 29. Oh.
You like that.
I'm not even a Michigan fan. I just got, that's it. Slipping through the cracks. Woo! Oh. GMG money. Brad Holmes Jr., Russell Wayne. Lands Will Johnson in the first round. You like that?
You like that.
And then look at that. Braden Swinson from LSU slides all the way to the second round. Oh, this is easy. Nobody wants me to take anybody from Ohio State. I understand that. Let's go with the LSU pass rusher. Let's go. Oh, I'm getting excited. At pick 101, we got a couple of tackles in here. I'm choosing between the tackles. I got to go with Wyatt Millam. Oh, man, I like the randomness in here. Round 4. I'm going to go ahead, and they did bring in Jalen Milroe. Where's my boy at? Mr. Greenfield, how you like me now? I'm going to draft Jalen Milroe in the 4th round. Look at that.
You like that.
Oh, wow. I know that there's no freaking way that Will Johnson would come all the way down to pick 28. Would that be the craziest draft? Oh, wow. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. There you go. I promised you I'd do the mock draft, but this is the Lion Villain Report, baby. We're brought to you by Fanatics.com. Scan the code, save up to 25% off of your order. I appreciate anybody that uses that code. Thank you. Thank you. Having some fun today. Having some fun. This is the Lion Villain Report. It's the off season. If Christopher Walken was here, he'd say the Lion Villain Report is one of my favorite shows. You should watch it. It's at 10 a.m. on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's good for you. Could be good for you. Could be good for your life. If you're down with the Detroit Lions, give me a hell yeah. That's right. Broadcasting live into that Villain Squad Facebook page. Thank you to everybody that is liking, sharing, and commenting with the undrafted free agent, the UDFA of sports podcasting. Russell Wayne, your resident villain in the house. I'm digging it. Thank you, everybody that's stuck around with me all the way to the end. Thank you to the Central Scrutinizer.
You like that?
Detroit, the bad guy. Carolyn.
You like that?
John. Mary Smith.
You like that?
Like that. Carolyn says that, what about selecting Landon Jackson? He was awesome at the combine. I'm not sure. The problem with that, and I am going to do my best not to do as much talking about the draft. Like over the next 10 days, we got free agency. Like we can draft prep for an entire month all together, 3 days a week on here. And I don't mind doing that. We can do mock drafts every day. But for right now, we got the big things. We need depth at the safety position. We got to go into free agency, and the new league year is looming. But I am the resident villain right here. You can find me at 313villain on X. Appreciate anybody that's watching. Putting it all together right here. I'm going to be back again on Wednesday. Talking some more. Maybe we'll get some more news. Don't forget to leave those comments. Join the conversation. I always want to hear from you. Nobody wants to hear me talk. I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. I know that it's the off season. Only the hardcore fans are around. And I appreciate you. It's faith, family, then football here. We use football to spend time with our family and create memories. We don't let football use us. That's going to complete my time with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again in Jesus' name. And that'll be on Wednesday. Amen. Amen. Let's make it to Wednesday together. Let's keep talking about this off season. God bless you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.
Hey yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning, it's crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity.